Hi guys, how's it going? Okay, we are starting our fantastical journey. I've been watching Anne with an E on Netflix. She loves to use big words. Of poetry. Okay, this before I start getting text messages and emails that, oh, Mrs. Brown, you're killing us with all this homework. I want you to listen to a very important fact. This Hyperdoc covers your modules 2, 3, and 4. Okay? So there'll be certain stuff in this, certain items that are going to be done in module 1 or module 2. Okay, that's this week, so by Friday. Then in module 3, the following Friday, in module 4. Module 5, could be interesting, but this one Hyperdoc is going to cover the next 3 weeks. So we'll be doing a lot of discussion in our Zoom room meetings to kind of answer some of the questions that come up with this, okay? So don't freak out yet. Do make a copy. Remember, go up to File, and you're going to make a copy. And then up here, put your name in front of the Junior Poetry Hyperdoc, okay? All right. So let's start on our poetry journey. I love the quote that poetry heals the wounds inflicted by reason. Love that. It's not that awesome? Yes, Mrs. Brown, it is awesome. All right, so in this hyper talk, we're going to do a little bit of reading and writing, yay, of poetry. Now, before you roll your eyes at me, remember we had Matt Mason here earlier this year. And Matt Mason said, take what you like and write about it, right? You don't have to follow those traditional grammar rules. Now, I apologize if you hear a calf in the background because that is Tiny. Tiny is in the yard. It's a nice day and he's playing with the dogs, but he really wants fed again. He eats all the time. All right, so module 2 this week. So it's part 1, reading poetry. So my first learning target of this is to understand figurative language and language used in poetry. So what I want you to do is watch the YouTube presentations on poetry and literary devices to know, and then complete the IXL C6. Now you'll notice I have a very brief, it's like a minute and a half or a minute 50, something like that, long tutorial on it. All right, so that's what you're going to want to do next. Then I want you to read this poem. Billy Collins, a contemporary poet. It's an introduction to a poem. I want you to read it. Read it slowly. Then read it again. Okay? Look for the author's advice on your second read through. Then, in your own words, what do you think he wants you, his reader, to do? Now, you'll notice here I have a Padlet. So I want you to come over here to the Padlet. And remember, you're going to just double click and that'll give you your box. Okay, and I want you to put your name and what he wants you to do here. All right? So make sure you complete that Padlet. Once you've done that, you've read it through a couple of times, then we're going to talk a little bit about read, wonder, and think. One of the biggest complaints about poetry is I just don't understand it, Mrs. Brown. I just don't get it. What the dead guy wants, okay? And with English poets that you study in your senior year, they are challenging. They're unique, okay? And so trying to figure out what the author was saying might take a little bit of digging, okay? But poetry is unique. It's silly. It's beautiful. And that challenge is kind of what makes it all of those things. So one way I figure out what an author is trying to say is I read it. And I read every word very slowly. And I read it multiple times. I have never gotten a poem the first time through. So look at what's right there. Don't try too hard to read into the meaning. Ask yourself, excuse me, what did you notice? What word stuck out to you? Take up a poem and hold it up to the light. Hold? Light? Why would I hold it up to the light? It's like I'm trying to figure out what my older sister got in the mail, or what's this for mom and dad, or what did the school send home? Am I going to be in trouble, when you hold an envelope up to the light? Any of you ever done that? No? Oh, well, I have. Okay, So then after I've done that, I wonder. I might ask myself the questions about things I noticed. Do you wonder what a specific word means or why the person chose to use that word? Why did anything seem strange? Like, why would I put a mouse in to probe his way out? I just don't understand what the point is. Why did the author choose to compare two things? That's juxtaposition, by the way. You'll need to know that in Module 3 and 4. What is he describing? So now, try to answer your question. Use what you noticed as other evidence from the poem. Now, you're not doing any of this yet, okay? You are simply going through the steps. I will tell you when to use it, okay? So, what was the author's message to you? Now we're going to practice it. Now you're going to use it. All right. So, this was a poem written in 1869. I cannot remember what pandemic was going through then. But in 1919, it was republished during the Spanish flu, and I thought, why not? We're going through it right now. So you're going to read this poem by Kathleen O'Mara, and people stayed at home and read books and listened, and they rested, and they did exercises, and made art, and played, and learned new ways of being, and stopped and listened more deeply, and on and on. So you're going to practice the read, wonder, think with this poem right here first, okay? So you're going to answer it in this box. This is why you had to make a copy. Remember at the beginning I said put your name up here, make a copy. All right. So make sure you share this copy with me and tell me what you read, what you wondered. Is this going to be a lot longer than what it is here? Yes. And that's okay. All right. If you need to, if this just freaks you out, copy the poem onto a new document and share that document with me with your read, wonder, and think. Either one is fine. After you've done this poem, then you're going to go into Maya Angelou. Now, Maya Angelou is a very famous American author. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings is her autobiography. Some of you may love to read that. Well, this is one of the poems that she wrote. So you're going to have a Google Doc that has the text with it. And again, it's an annotation. So you need to annotate it and share that with me. So you're going to make a copy. Okay, you're going to make a copy. Put your name here. And then I've kind of helped you with the read, wonder, think through the questions I ask here, but not specifically. Okay. You're also going to listen to Nicki Minaj read Still I Rise, and she has quite her own rendition. But my personal favorite is Maya Angelou and her introduction to it. Now, there's a little bit of a commercial, or there was on mine before it, and then you'll get into it. But really make sure you pay attention to Maya Angelou, her introduction to the poem and her reading of it. Why would I put it in here? All right. After you've done that and you've done your read, wonder, think here, I want you to watch a video on figurative language. Now, lucky for you, this one was not made by me. I found it. But I want you to give an example of figurative language from one of the three poems that we've already read. So it can be the Billy Collins poem. It can be the poem by Kate O'Mara. Was that her name? I can't even remember. Yep, O'Mara. Or by Maya Angelou. And think about what is being described, okay? And how it's being described, all right? With the example from the video, all right? We okay? All right. Then we're going to click this link to Emily Dickinson. She's one of my favorite American poets. And it's Hope is a Thing with Feathers. And again, you're going to make a copy. You're going to put your name up here in front of it, make a copy. You're going to annotate it. So, hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings with a tune without words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard. Okay, so you're going to annotate that. I'm going to come back here. And then you're going to fill in your ideas for the read, wonder, think. All right, and we can talk about that in our weekly Zoom on Thursday too. You know, if you've all read it by Thursday, we can really discuss it and kind of put it in there. after you've read Dickinson, I want you to find a poem of your own. Now, some wonderful poets to look at other than Dickinson are Edgar Allan Poe. He's a famous American poet. His are going to be a little bit more scary. Walt Whitman, personal favorite. He liked to run naked through the forest and hug the trees. He was also a very, very much a staunch American. He loved democracy, okay? All right. All right, so that's all module 1. So once you get to, you found the poem of your own and told me what figurative language you found, I would like you to copy that, annotate it, okay, the poem you find. So let's say you decide to do Robert Frost's Two Roads Diverge in a Yellow Wood, or another Dickinson, or somebody else that I haven't heard of before. Okay, you go to poetryfoundation.org. They have all sorts of poets for you. All right, share that with me. Okay, create a document, share it with me, and then do the read, wonder, think. Once you've gotten here, which is page 7, okay, that's what I need by next Friday. Okay, which would be, hold on, I should have looked this up before and I did not. So where is my calendar? Here it is. So it'll be the 17th. So by the 17th, that's what you need to have done. Then module 3 will start that following Monday on the 20th. And this is where you will start it. So notice I have it highlighted. This will start module 3. And my next learning target. We're going to identify tools an author uses. So we're going to read the poem and then reread the poem, Nothing Gold Can Stay by Robert Frost. And then I want you to tell me what you liked about the poem and what techniques you noticed. Okay, so look back. What techniques did you notice Robert Frost used? Then you're going to have your poetry techniques toolbox. Notice this is all in blue. All right. So I'm going to, again, click it and make a copy. Okay, and add your name, again, right up here. And then you're going to copy and paste the link for your poetry toolbox right here. And then you're just going to go through. Here's a Walt Whitman on For You Democracy, and then one that's read aloud by somebody who can do it much better than I, and answer the questions on our Hyperdoc. And then you're going to choose any of them. Look for new techniques to add to the list, and the devices and the poetry techniques we've learned, that will help you. And then you are going to go to this Google Doc, and it's understanding your music. That's your assessment for this week. And you're going to choose an appropriate song that you think has poetic lyrics. And you're going to fill this out. Again, you'll make a copy and put your name on it. All right, I am about out of time on my Screencast-O-Matic. So then you have Module 4. And I will have another video up for the Module 4 introduction. But again, this one starts the 20th. Up here, the purple is due the 17th. All right? I hope that kind of helped, guys. I miss you all. I love you all. You call or text or email, and we'll Zoom for questions. Can't wait to see you. Bye.